And Lamar Jackson allegedly about to get 40 to 45 million a year. The one-time MVP and now playoff game-winning quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens in a division that's going to be very tough for at least the foreseeable future with what's going on in Cleveland and potentially in Cincinnati and what's going on with Pittsburgh. Is Ben Roethlisberger a new Ben Roethlisberger, not a new Ben Roethlisberger? We'll talk about that. We got conflicting reports on what Ben Roethlisberger has been up to. We'll dive into that, but Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens changed the game completely because Lamar Jackson is a player that changes the way you view football. This dude is electrifying. He's a fucking video game on the field. That has come into question a couple different times. He was called a running back playing quarterback by numerous people, so much so that after a game that he dominated and threw like 3 touchdowns or 4 touchdowns, he got a game ball. And actually Harbaugh said not bad for a running back, and he actually did the full thing. There was an offensive coordinator that thought he had to throw the ball more and more and more in his career because he wanted to prove that Lamar Jackson was an incredible thrower of the football, and they wanted to build up the respect and credibility. I think not just on the other defenses looking at film going forward, but in the entire NFL world. I think Lamar and the offensive coordinator wanted to prove to the world that he was a better ball thrower if he was just to be a pocket quarterback than anybody else as well. They learned that that was not the right option because what he does better than everybody on earth is make a play. He's a guy that can turn nothing into something. He's made absolute freak athletes look like elementary amateur athletes with the things he's been able to do. He's only going to get better, everybody's thinking. The offense is only going to buy into the system more. He's a one-time Pro Bowler, one-time All-Pro. He's been an MVP before. He's got a playoff win, and I don't think he's slowing down anytime soon. $40 to $45 million per year is a lot of money to invest in somebody. We saw some bad contracts in the past, but we've also seen a lot of great contracts as of recent late. If you look at Patrick Mahomes' contract, they got him for $500 million over 10 years. That's $50 million a year if you just do some easy math there. But that money has been manipulated and moved where they're able to play with it with the salary cap. So let's hope that Lamar Jackson in Baltimore, if you're a Baltimore Ravens fan, will do the same exact thing so that you can continue to bring in pieces around Lamar Jackson. They were trying to get active in free agency this past offseason at the wide receiver position because Hollywood Brown last year, their one-star wide receiver that they have aside from great tight ends, he came out and said, hey, they don't ever use me out here. Lamar said, they know what we're doing. Marquise said, it stinks, basically, in the middle of the whole thing. And they would go on to win a playoff game. They weren't happy. They got to be able to figure out how to continue to build that roster. And if they win a Super Bowl with Lamar Jackson, I don't think anybody would be surprised. And of course, the guy's the best player of all time. But there is a lot of people out there that do not think Lamar Jackson's good at football. And that's why we want Sohamsky on the Baltimore Ravens social media team for putting out that wobbly-ass pass to Sammy Watkins, who is now a member of the Baltimore Ravens, because it literally fed to all the critics of Lamar Jackson that he's not the best ball thrower, even though all of his stats basically say he is. I mean, that is just something that some people will not believe. They refuse to do so. Baltimore loves him, and I can't wait to see this thing work out, how they structure the contract, how they build the roster, and in a very difficult division. And there might be, you know, an expansion of games, which means you got to stay healthy, and the style of play that the Ravens played, not just Lamar, is a wear and tear one. There's a lot of bodies hitting bodies, longer season, but they're probably going to expand the playoffs. If they get in and get hot, they could win. I mean, it's a beautiful thing. Congrats to Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, Lamar.
Who has also said next year we're going back to that basketball court and having more fun. Everybody can fuck off.
Hell yeah.
I like that. Do what you got to do, man. Hopefully everybody stays healthy, and I hope the Baltimore Ravens continue to win games in the Lamar Jackson era. Lamar Jackson's about to get 40 to 45 million a year. If they structure that like a 10-year deal like they did with Patrick Mahomes, they'll be able to move that money every single year and kind of manipulate the cap and everything like that. But the people who are not Lamar Jackson fans say, there's no way they'll give him a 10-year deal because who knows if he could play that long with the style of his play. I think Lamar has proven that he can have success and win. He's going to have to go win a Super Bowl if he makes 40 to 45 million a year. And if they structure that thing right, that means absolutely nothing in the grand scheme of salary caps.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, those structured so they can build around them, but also, don't you think the team is going to try to have some outs in there where they can find a way after 2 or 3, 4 years, if it's not working out, they can get out of it?
Well, Lamar Jackson should try that as well then. That's what I think.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's probably what they're going back and forth with.
Well, and Josh Allen's probably going to get the same exact thing, if not more, too.
Yeah, Josh Allen's, they are negotiating, because when Josh Allen was talking about it, he is given like, well, that's other people are handling that and we're moving on. Like, every time it's been approached or broached that subject, everybody that's involved has acknowledged that it is happening. Just like Chris Ballard told us that he's negotiating with a couple pillars of the Colts. Now, we don't know who that is. We can assume, though, that Darius Leonard is about to make so much money after the Fred Warner news yesterday.
Yeah.
And then also it has to be Quentin Nelson as well. So there's about to be a couple mega deals, I think, that maybe come out of Indianapolis if what Chris Ballard was alluding to is right. But those deals, they can get done quickly, or they can drag out, because there's some sticking points in every contract where some people are like, nah, I'm not going to give that up. Nope, can't give that up. And then there's some days where people wake up and they're like, yeah, fuck it. All right, enough. Let's do it. So it's interesting how those deals get done, AJ.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, too, talking to different front office people and different agents. We assume like they're in contact all the time. A lot of times they're not. They go days without talking or texting because they want, that it's all negotiating. They're trying to figure out, hey, I want them to come to me. It's agents get. I mean, this is where they make their money, is working second, third deals for big time players.
And then the classic negotiation. Like if you text first, you look desperate. And then on the other side, now the ball's in their court. Yeah. It's just all of that, the art of war has become something that a lot of business people study. And like the negotiation is, and I've told the boys this because we've gotten a chance to meet some people that we shouldn't meet or whatever. I enjoy whenever I meet somebody, in the first minute of me meeting them, I'm trying to figure out whether or not every word is a negotiation with this person, right? So for the first minute, I'm trying to figure out, can I have an actual human conversation with this person? Or is everything that comes out of my mouth have to be like some sort of leverage building,